Raise your hands in the air. Stay strong and keep your faith alive. Take a stand. Say a prayer. Stay strong and keep your faith alive. Hand in hand, side by side, with hearts open wide. Stay strong and keep your faith alive. Help others find their way. Create heaven here today. Stay strong and keep your faith alive. Raise your hands in the air. Stay strong and keep your faith alive. Take a stand. Sing a prayer. Stay strong and keep your faith alive. In times like these we need to remember what is real. Stay strong and keep your faith alive. United in our quest to spread love and happiness. Stay strong and keep your faith alive. Hey Rama Rama Bolo, Jai Rama Rama Bolo. Hey Rama Rama Bolo, Sita Ram. Shri Rama Rama Bolo, Shri Rama Rama Bolo. Hey Rama Rama Bolo, Sita Ram.
My friends, thank you so much. I'm really grateful to be here with you all this morning. I'd like to begin with a quote from the Uddhava Gita. Gita is a song, in this case, a song chanted by Sri Krishna. And Krishna is, in India, as I said yesterday, these different gods personify different qualities and different powers and different aspects of this great and wondrous mystery of creation, different dynamics. And Krishna is said to be the supreme personification of this mystery. In any case, the Uddhava Gita is a teaching that he gives to his dearest friend. And throughout the teaching, the friend is asking, how can I achieve liberation in this lifetime? And finally, in the last sentence, he says, what if I can't do anything that you have called upon me to do? And Krishna says, by whatever name you want to call out to me, in whatever way you want to approach me, I will be there for you are very dear to me. Do you hear that? By whatever name so the mystery says, by whatever name you want to call out to me, in whatever way you want to approach me, through works and service, through art, through devotion, through austerities, through confusion, chaos, as a warrior, whatever way you want to whatever you want to offer to me, whatever way you want to approach me, I will be there for you are very, very dear to me. In India, they have many, they really respect how unique each of us is. And so there are many approaches to what the sage calls soul communion, based on different characters. Even atheism is a respected path. And in fact, some of the deepest philosophical approaches there are non-theistic, like Buddhism is non-theistic. And there are aspects of Jainism which are non-theistic. So they just invite you to your own journey of contemplation and your own unique relationship to this great and wondrous mystery is respected. So I just wanted to say that, to just validate how unique each one of us, our fabric of experience is, and what we can find credible. And I just know myself at different times in my evolution, I've held all these different concepts of the mystery, and I've seen them evaporate as I've matured in different ways. And now, there was a time when Krishna was too personality for me, for example, and too much personification for me, and too concrete. And now I'm back calling this mystery in that dynamic we saw yesterday, that probability in consciousness. What can I call it? I'll call it Krishna. So the one who is the life force that is moving this chariot, the charioteer, I've chosen to call Krishna at this point in time. But it's a personal choice. So I'm just saying this to again articulate just how personal, unique, and circumambulating this journey is. So this morning we begin with our invocation of the goddess Saraswati, which means essence of self, and we invoke her bija mantras. Oh, here we go. And we go deeper into the meaning of the bijas. This is a beautiful statue of the goddess that we have in our home. So Om is the universal self, the cosmic being. Purusha is the divine in each of us, the self of the universe as the self of each of us. Absolutely no separation between the absolute and the life in you. Just one life. Absolutely no, well, of course, on the level of consciousness we're at. But there's a portion of that divinity in each of us, and Om is a way of capturing that. And the qualities of Om are expansion, extension, and energy. I'm Shakti, the Adi, the primordial Shakti, the primal sound. Again, in the beginning is the word embodied in the goddess Saraswati. And it gives us these feminine qualities of willpower, direction, motivation. You think of the feminine power, captivation, that within the feminine is this power to just conjure up the forces of the universe to create life, just incredible power to just marshal the forces of the universe to give birth to life. Shreem, Lakshmi, which is water, fecundity, the abundance of life. In India, the cow is honored and held sacred, as everything is held sacred. But the cow is held sacred as a symbol of the sacredness of nature and the generosity and the kindness of nature. So we hold the cow sacred as a vestige of that realization of just how generous our Mother Nature is and just how kind. I mean, we could have huge beasties out there trying to eat us. Instead, they're just tiny little bugs occasionally landing on an ankle. So Lakshmi is the incredible fecundity of nature. All of nature is so rich. Every tree is just showering us with abundance. And it's only our selfishness that keeps us from living in a Garden of Eden. Just all of nature. And Shreem gives us, again, all these feminine qualities of devotion and faith and refuge. And what we're dealing with here is a polarity of neutral, source, Lakshmi, positive, the Shakti, the power, the outgoing energy, and Hrim, the feminine, the negative, Parvati, the Shakti of Shiva. That's the word, captivation, magic, empowerment, all these feminine qualities. So, with our invocation of the goddess, we're once again invoking these qualities within ourselves and cultivating them within ourselves. Any question about the Saraswati invitation? So we're chanting it loud, and we're creating a feedback loop to our heart or third eye. We're listening deeply during the musical interludes as we honor the feminine aspect of ourselves. Om Aim Srim Hrim Saraswati Devi Namaha. 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 Saraswati Devi Namaha. Om Aim Shrim Hrim 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 Saraswati Devi Namaha. Let's turn within just for a moment or two and focus on the stillness, coherence we've been cultivating. Sanskrit is a psychoactive language that the vibrations actually create the states of consciousness. It's called Devanagari, the language of the gods, the language of a god realm, or the perfected language. And when you learn to speak it, you learn to use every part of the lips, the palate, the throat. It's very, very scientific. And the spectrum of the alphabet involve all the sounds that we're capable of making. And so the sounds actually marshal the forces of nature to create these states of consciousness. And the term Brahmin describes the act of marshaling the forces of nature. So the priestly caste are those who can actually marshal the forces of nature to manifest your will. Now, today, we're going to learn what had been the secret esoteric mantra of the Brahmin caste, the Gayatri mantra. And there are many different Gayatris. Today we're learning Gayatri to the power that illuminates our sun and the power that illuminates all the stars, okay? And that's the same power that's right here in your consciousness, okay? But we're picturing it as Savitri, the mystery that illuminates our sun and is the source of our life. And then we're realizing that the same light is in infinite suns, and that same infinite power is within you and I. In exactly the same way as if I were to go down to the sacred Machuca River and scoop up a drop of that river, all of the qualities of that water, of that river, would be in that drop of water. So in exactly the same way, all the powers, all the forces, all the gift, all the mystery of consciousness are in this drop of consciousness that you are enjoying right now. Again, this creation is the self-sacrifice of the goddess. She threw herself into this fire of creation, and she is this fire that is in with you, this power that is here within you, in your clarity and in your focus and in your love. So this traditionally was a secret esoteric mantra of the Brahmin caste, that at, I think, 7, the father whispered it into the son's ears as he gave him the string which identified him as a Brahmin. I was initiated in Sri Lanka, and the sage who initiated me said, this is too precious not to share with a casteless person like yourself. And so he would share it with casteless people like you and I, and women who traditionally were not allowed in the teachings generally. So he said that the times are too challenging. So here we are. Now, I am not going to initiate you. When you initiate someone, you take on their karma, and Dr. Murgesu, who initiated me, died shortly afterwards. So you can self-initiate by chanting the mantra 250,000 times, which goes really fast. If you do it, you consider a rosary is 108 times. If you're doing that twice a day, just in
no time.
Yeah, in no time at all, you'll hit your 250,000. But what you'll notice, even the first time, you're going to hear it in your heart. You're going to feel it in your heart. It's going to just really stay with you. So the mantra is Om, or the meaning of the mantra is, let us commune with this luminous light of consciousness that sustains all the worlds, all the dimensions, that it may inspire our liberation. So we're turning away from the world to this essence. Let us commune with this essence of presence that's right here, that it may inspire our liberation. Because what the sages share with you is this process of moving from unreality, or being wrapped up in the travail of the world, into the reality of this mystery of eternal life that shares this life so generously with us. So the literal meaning is earth, heaven, and beyond. Let us commune with that which is worthy of worship. We don't even want to give it that force that's behind the light. We can't even give it a name. Okay? That, okay, which is worthy of worship. Let us commune with that which is worthy of worship, that it may destroy our ignorance and inspire our liberation. That's a very loose translation. Again, I'm not a Brahmin. I have no responsibility to pass on the culture with great integrity, so what I give you is a bit loose by any standard. I'm not a Sanskrit scholar either. So this is my dear teacher, Mother Vanamali. Vanamali means a garland of wildflowers offered to the mystery. And I had the good fortune, I was my ally, Desperate Prayer. One day on the bus, and desperate prayer, I called out for a sanctuary, and the next morning I manifested. This was the first day this ashram had opened, and I was the first seeker through the door. And so this beautiful grandmother took me in and gave me a rosary and an enema bag. The rest is history. So Mother Vanamali has written 14 amazing books on the culture of India. If you've ever wondered about the goddess, or wondered about Sri Krishna or Shiva, her books are all available in English, and she's very articulate and also very, very faithful to the tradition. So if you want to go more deeply into any of this, I highly recommend Vanamali's books. You can just find them on Amazon or any bookseller. They're published by Inner Traditions, the largest spiritual publisher in the world. Okay. So first we will hear Mother Vanamali chanting the mantra for us, and chanting it very carefully, and we will chant it with her.
Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha Om Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः। ॐ तत् सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः। ॐ तत् सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः। ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः। ॐ तत् सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः। ॐ तत् सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्.
To the middle of the Narmada River on an island called Omkareshwar. This is your pilgrimage to India this morning. And the island, there's a mountain in the island that's said to be shaped like an Om, and that's why it's called Omkareshwar. And this was a little ashram there where I ate the humblest food I ever ate because they had all these cows. It was a cow sanctuary, and everything they could, any funds they could raise went to feed the cows. And I'll swear the stew I ate there was made of wood chips. But in any case, here is a pundit there, and the master is in his 90s. And at this point, I hadn't had initiation into Gayatri officially, and so I was asking them I wanted to just hear this chanted by someone who devoted their life and invested their life in the power of this mantra.
आवाज मत करो जरा. भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्. ॐ आपो ज्योति रसोमृतं ब्रह्म भूर्भुवस्वरो. हरिः ॐ.
And now here is his master, who was in his 90s at the time that I made this. And
Om Pur Bhuvasvaha Tatsavitravayanam Bhagavadasya Dhyo Yana Prachodayat Om I think Om Pur Bhuvasvaha Tatsavitravayanam Bhagavadasya Dhyo Yana Prachodayat Om
they kept his arm in a silk bag because he'd done his rosary so many times in his lifetime, they considered his arm sacred. Right.
Do you have Swami chanting?
No, I don't. Any questions about the Gayatri mantra? Okay. Let us commune with this luminous light of consciousness that sustains all the worlds, that it may inspire our liberation. There are many, many Gayatris. There are 24 syllables. In fact, Gayatri is the underlying meter of most Sanskrit chanting and prayers. And typically, in Gayatri, there are two important parts. So there's a communion. So that, like I'm doing a Gayatri that we were just introduced recently, I find very powerful. So it's an invocation of Vishnu, the neutral. And first is a communion. Let us commune with whatever power it is you want to call up. And then there is that it may inspire our liberation. Let's see, Narayana Vidmahi is the communion. Vasudeva Dhimahi, Tano Vishnu Prachodayat, that it may inspire our liberation. I think so. So all Gayatris have this in common, the 24 beats and these two dimensions, the communion and the inspiration. And in fact, you'll notice that Mataji changed hers from the first to the second chanting. The second there was an Om in there that she removed in later years, and she changed Swaha to Swa because she realized it should be 24 beats, and that took it out of what it should be. So they're really interesting. I just used the first because it was much clearer in terms of teaching it. So we're chanting Om Bhur Bhuva Swa Tat Savatur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyo Yona Prachodayat. So again, did all of you get the link to the Dropbox? So we sent out a link earlier to a Dropbox where you can download the mantras if you'd like to make this part of your life, or just like this one is 108 times and is really beautifully chanted. So we're going to chant it. I don't have a rosary with me. We'll chant it for 8 or 10 minutes, okay? Okay, this is a really nice one. So Gayatri typically is portrayed as having 5 heads, okay, which represent the 5 elements, the 5 vayus, the 5 winds, the 5 elemental keynotes of vibration, which flow through everything to give it earth, solidity, vibrationally, water, the fluid medium for life, fire, the creative functional energy, air, the intelligence, and ether, the overall space. So her 5 heads symbolize or personify these 5 intelligences, these 5 fundamental streams of intelligence that underlie the wisdom, science of the ancients and the dynamic which underlie this manifestation: solidity, fluidity, fire, intelligence, and space.
The Gayatri Mantra. Om Bhur Swah Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayad. Om Bhur Swah Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayad. Om Bhur Swah Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayad. The Gayatri Mantra. Om Bhur Swah Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayad. Om Bhur Swah Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayad. Om Bhur Swah Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayad. The Gayatri Mantra. Om Bhur Swah Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayad. Om Bhur Swah Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayad. Om Bhur Swah Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayad. The Gayatri Mantra. Om Bhur Swah Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayad. Om Bhur Swah Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayad. Om Bhur Swah Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayad. The Gayatri Mantra. Om Bhur Swah Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayad. Om Bhur Swah Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayad. Om Bhur Swah Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayad. The Gayatri Mantra. Om Bhur Swah Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayad. Om Bhur Swah Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayad. Om Bhur Swah Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayad. the Gayatri mantra. Om Bhur Bhuvah Swah Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhur Bhuvah Swah Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhur Bhuvah Swah Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat.
Raise your hands in the air. Stay strong and keep your faith alive. Take a stand. Sing a prayer. Stay strong and keep your faith alive. In times like these we need to remember what is real. Stay strong and keep your faith alive. United in our quest to spread love and happiness. Stay strong and keep your faith alive. Hey Rama Rama Bolo, Jai Rama Rama Bolo. Hey Rama Rama Bolo, Sita Ram. Shri Rama Rama Bolo, Shri Rama Rama Bolo. Hey Rama Rama Bolo, Sita Ram. Raise your hand in the air. Stay strong and keep your faith alive. Lend a hand, say a prayer. Stay strong and keep your faith alive. Stay strong and keep your faith alive. Stay strong and keep your faith alive.